Ashley. So I did a reading for you, and the overall message is saying that maybe you're worried and you're stressed out about something. And also, part of this is showing that you're not really taking care of yourself. Like maybe you're so stressed out, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not actually nourishing yourself. So the message is stop worrying. Things are going to work out, and also make sure that you are taking time for self-care. So the first card that I pulled for you was the Three of Cups, and as you can see, it's three ladies out in a field, right? And they're connected. Each one is holding each other's hand or back or some sense, right? And they're looking up into the night sky. So this card could be about friendships, or it could also be about just general abundance. I have a feeling like maybe this is about a friendship for you. Maybe it's about the people that you associate yourself with. Maybe they're causing some level of stress. Sometimes what we do is we actually start to put other needs before our own, and we start to neglect what we need. So this could either be talking about the friendships that you have, or maybe there is an abundance coming into your life, and maybe that's what you're stressing out about. The second card that we have for you here is the Six of Cups. So as you can see, it's a little boy with a puppy, right? And the cups, they actually get bigger in size. And then now, as you can see, the boy is now a man, and the puppy has become a dog. And so this is like that nostalgic feeling, right? Where you're kind of like thinking about the past, you're reminiscing. This could also mean that a friend from the past is popping up too. So this is just about pretty much the past, right? So whether you're reminiscing on an old friendship, or possibly even reminiscing on something that you've done in the past, reminiscing about your past self. The next card that we have for you is the Four of Swords in reverse. So as you can see, she's kind of like in this nest, right? And she's in this fetal position. She's resting. And then there's her heart, right? And so usually this means that there's a period of deep rest where you take time out for self-care. So when this card pops up in the reverse, it means there's a side of you that you are actually neglecting. So this is coming up to remind you that you should be taking better care of yourself, whether it's your mental, your physical, your spiritual, right? So whatever area in your life where you're neglecting that part of your health, now's the time to actually start taking a little bit more care of that. The next card that we have for you is the Five of Pentacles. So as you can see, there's a door with the Five Pentacles there, and there's a lock, and there's the key. And she's just sitting there with her head hunched over, right? Her head is kind of like in her lap. And even though there's a key right there, she's not actually opening up the key. There's something that's keeping her stuck right there. And usually what happens is this is about insecurities. This is about overthinking. This is about not taking the next step, right? Not being secure, feeling like you're not safe. Okay. But then we also have the Five of Pentacles, right? So the King of Pentacles came right after the Five of Pentacles. As you can see, he's walking. This path is actually illuminated, and he's more confident. He's striding. He's moving forward, and he has his horse following him. So this represents stability and security. So in the Five of Pentacles, it seems like maybe there was some type of insecurity, right? Maybe there was something that was keeping you stuck and stagnant. But right after that, guess what? He's walking in his purpose, and he's actually secure. Okay. And I feel like also too, maybe that's what this Four of Swords is showing up as. Maybe this Four of Swords is telling you to take a little time out and to think about what insecurities do you have that's stopping you from actually moving forward. Let's see here. The next card that we have for you is Earth Magic, and it says fearlessness and removing obstacles. All right. So as you can see, she's on the horse, right? And she's actually looking ahead, like she's actually looking dead at whatever it is that she fears. And so I feel like this card is popping up for you to remind you to actually take a look at those fears that you have and to break those down. A lot of times when we have certain fears, right, we allow ourselves to be crippled by them, right? Whether it be the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, right? The fear of saying the wrong thing, the fear of making the wrong decision. And so there's a saying that fear just just stands for false evidence appearing as real, right? So now's the time to actually look at those fears that have you feeling stuck. Look at those insecurities and actually break those down. Like, I feel like in some sense, you're actually stressed out and you're worrying about things because you fear you're going to make the wrong decision. And so a lot of times there really is no wrong decision, right? Everything happens for a reason. And so I feel like this card is popping up to show you that everything happens for a reason, but also to break those fears down so this way you can actually move forward. The next card is courage. So as you can see, she's there and she has the lion right above her head. She actually has her crown on and she's looking straight ahead, like she's looking at the present. She's not hiding anymore. And so I feel like this card is popping up to tell you to stop hiding, right? So remember that you are strong. You do have this fierceness, right? And you also have this family of supportive people around you. So take a look and see in what ways are you actually hiding? What ways are you actually stepping back and allowing fears to control you? And then actually developing a little sense of courage so this way you can move forward. Sometimes you just need a reminder that you do have that lion or that lioness inside of you. The next card that we have here is Sacred Action. It says Decisive Focus. So as you can see, I think that's a cheetah. I don't know if it's cheetah or leopard, but it's a big wildcat. Let's just go with that, right? And as you can see, it's on top of her head and it's looking straight ahead. She's looking straight ahead. They're both focused. You know what? This is the fastest one. Now that I think about it, right? This is the one that runs really, really fast. And so usually when it takes... when something catches its attention, it holds onto its prey and then it dashes after it, right? And it does not stop until it gets its prey. And I feel like this is the message for you as well, right? So at first we had the card talking about earth magic and we were talking about removing fears and obstacles. And then it said courage, right? So now that we've actually removed that fear and we're actually stepping into this moment of courage, we want to actually get laser focused on what it is that we truly want and just take action and don't stop at any cost until you actually get it. Then we also have the next card here, right? And this telepathy is talking about transmission, perception, and communication. So I feel like this popped up too, not just because you might have telepathic energies or abilities, but also I feel like in some sense, maybe the reason why you're worried, maybe the reason why you're stressed and you're thinking about things, maybe the reason why you are not taking action is because of something that happened in the past. So as you look, she's looking off to the left, right? And the left usually represents the past. Now she has like this crown over her head, and then she also has like this white light, like this is spirit blessing her, and there's this white circle around her heart chakra and it goes down as well. And as you can see, she has a wolf and they're both looking to the past, but guess what? They're looking at the past, right? But at no point are they actually backing down. They're not afraid anymore. And I feel like this card is popping up because a lot of times we say perception, our perception is our reality, and it seems like maybe too there may have been something that happened in the past where it just seemed like it was so horrible. And a lot of times when things go bad, at least in that moment, we really, really internalize it. And sometimes we heighten the event. Like when we look back at the event, it wasn't as bad as what we thought that it actually was. But because we were engaged in that moment, it just seemed like the world was all coming to an end. So I feel like this card is popping up to tell you like that's just how you perceive that event in that moment, and maybe it was due to some type of miscommunication as well, which brings us to the next card, which is duality, and it says many meanings and misunderstandings. So as you can see, she's sitting in this cave, right? And she has like this red dress on. It kind of looks like she would be going to like a formal dinner, like maybe she was actually the guest of honor, because like red usually pops up. But instead of being at this dinner, she's sitting there. She has a candle lit and she also has a book, but then she has a skull on her lap, and it seems like maybe she's probably trying to summon the dead. But as you can look, she's also looking like she's worried, like she thinks somebody's going to pop up and misunderstand what she's actually doing. Now, the fact that this came right after this telepathy card, it kind of makes me think that there was something that happened in the past and there was a misunderstanding. And maybe it was a misunderstanding that happened in a friendship. Maybe there was some type of falling out. Maybe there was something that was said or not said. And maybe that's what you're actually thinking about. Maybe that's what you're worried about right now. It's some type of misunderstanding that happened. Okay. The next path, well, the next card is the path. And as you can see, she's kind of like standing in the dark, and then there's a letter leading up. And as you can see, there's this brighter field that's showing there, and it's telling you like the path has pretty much already been paved. All you have to do is just walk up that ladder. But as you can see, she's just standing there, she's looking at it, and this is just saying like, hey, the path has been made for you. Like now you can actually move forward. So remember, we had that courage card, right? So I feel like this is telling you to have the courage to walk up the path. It's already there for you. The next card that we have for you is the self-reflection card. So as you can see, she's holding her own hand and she's looking in a mirror. And I feel like this card is really popping up at this moment to have you do an honest assessment of what's going on with you. Like what's going on with you? What are your feelings? When was the last time that you actually checked in with yourself? What is it that you actually need? So this card came right above the Six of Cups card. And so as we talked about it, this was like the nostalgia card. This was thinking about the past, right? And so I feel like in some sense, this is telling you to really take a look back and see what are you actually holding on to from the past that no longer serves you. What is it that you're constantly replaying in your head that has you playing it safe, that has you second guessing yourself, that has you worrying? The next card that we pulled for you was the nourishment card. So as you can see, there's the moon, there's a crescent there with water coming off. And as you can see, it's pretty fruitful, right? Like she has like, I think those are like mangoes and lemons in her hand. And she's just standing there, right? The fruits of her labor are actually paying off, but she's nourishing. This is in a nourishing environment. You have pretty much everything you need. So you have the water for your thirst. You have food in your hands. And I feel like this is also popping up because it came right above the Four of Swords card. So I feel like this is the moment where it's telling you to actually pour into yourself, give yourself what you really need, and eat. If that's rest. If you need to start eating better, start eating better. If you need to start to incorporate some type of form of exercise or movement, such as yoga, meditation, walking, right? Whatever your physical activity is. But I have a feeling this is telling you like now is the time to actually nourish yourself. Like when we looked at this self-reflection card, right? Maybe there were some moments where you are actually neglecting yourself, and maybe you're neglecting yourself, but you're taking care of everyone else around you. And so I feel like this card is popping up to tell you, hey, don't forget to take care of self. Don't forget to actually make sure that you're getting plenty of rest. Don't forget to make sure that you're managing your stress. The next card that we have for you is release. So as you can see, she's out in the field. She has her head back. Like this is a freeing moment. There's actually birds that's flying. As you can see, it's all this like white, like this is all the pain. This is all the hurt. This is all the negativity. This is everything that she's been telling herself, right? And she's releasing those negative thoughts. She's releasing those negative emotions. She's releasing those misunderstandings, and she's actually setting herself free. And this is reminding you like you have the power. You have the power to set yourself free. So whatever is actually stopping you from taking the next step forward, whatever is actually making you stress out about a situation, now is the time to release that. Release the need to be in control of everything. Release the need to know all of the answers. Release the need to actually try to be perfect, right? Release the need to try to avoid what you think may be failure. So release whatever it is that actually has you stressed out and worried. Release whatever it is that you are beating yourself up. So remember, we talked about the self-reflection card. So when you do an assessment of what's going on with you, looking at those beliefs, looking at your fears, looking at those sabotaging habits, right? Learn how to release those things. And then the next card that we pulled for you was creation. So as you can see, she's sitting here on a stump, and it's kind of like maps or like a blueprint. And then there's also like a face with the clouds and then the moon. And this is telling you that you have the power to create pretty much anything that you want. You have the power. There's nothing that can stop you. There's nothing that can come in the way of you doing that but you. So right there, we pulled the path, meaning the path is already paid for you. It's just waiting on you to take the next step. Then we pulled the self-reflection card, which is telling you take an honest assessment of what is really going on with you. Then making sure that you're actually pouring into and feeding yourself. Releasing what no longer serves you. And then you have the power to create whatever it is that you want. Now, also, we pulled the flow card. So as you can see, it's this beautiful unicorn, right? And the message says, find an easier path forwards, surrender the outcome, and release your expectations. So if you are holding on to something, or if you find yourself overcomplicating things, I feel like as humans, we have the tendency to overcomplicate things because we do have a fear deep down inside. We fear failure. We fear possible rejection. We fear the unknown. We fear success. And so sometimes what we try to do is we try to do every single thing. We put all of this work on our plates. Sometimes we get caught up in this trap of perfectionism where we just try to make sure that we have every I dotted, every T crossed, and we are actually stressed out. And so this card is coming to tell you, hey, just go with the flow. Like whatever you think that you need to control, you don't. Like if it's meant to be, it is, right? If it's meant to be, it will happen. If not, guess what? Something better would happen. So learn how to just go with the flow. Sometimes we sit and we overthink things. Sometimes we overthink them so much that we actually get caught up in that procrastination thing where we keep telling ourselves, oh, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. Or sometimes it could be the perfectionism where we start thinking about every single thing that we need to do, but then we end up psyching ourselves out because now we've created a long list of things that we need to do. So this card is saying like, hey, release those expectations and learn how to just go with the flow. Find a simpler way to do things. The next one that we have for you is support. So it's saying ask for help, get more rest, and nourish yourself. So this is the second time that it's telling you to get more rest and nourish yourself. And also understand when you are just putting too much on your plate and learn when to put that off onto somebody else. And the last card that we have for you is simplicity. So finding the simplicity in everything, right? If you're overcomplicating things, actually stop and think about what is it that you truly need to do and focus on that. So get laser focused on what you truly need to do. Get laser focused on what you truly need to do. Release all of the extra things that you're telling yourself that you need to do. Learn how to focus on what is actually in that moment of creating what you need to do, right? Focusing on what actually needs to be done and what doesn't need to be done so you can create what you truly want. And guess what? Just go with the flow.